I'm Kim Thomson, and I wanted to jump on and talk about the 3 different ways that you can use essential oils. So I'm going to talk mostly about topical use, which is applying to your skin. So I'll leave that for a minute, but I'm going to tell you what the other 2 uses are, and then there'll be other videos to follow in this event that will describe the other 2 uses. So the second use is aromatic. So that literally means like inhaling the essential oil. And that's where the term aromatherapy comes from. It literally means aroma or smell and therapy. So the easiest way to actually inhale an oil is to breathe it in from the bottle. You can even put a drop in your hand and just put that down there. 1 drop in your hand. Oops, 2, it's stress away. I must really need stress away. So I just energize it by going around 3 times. Pop it a little bit away from your nose. And I just inhale it. So if I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed or I'm too busy, you know, obviously this oil stress away. If I wanted to be pepped up, I'd use peppermint in the same way. Don't put it too close to your eyes. Just, you know, breathe it in. You know, put it on a hanky or something like that and breathe it in. And the other way is diffusing essential oils. That's the other way to do it aromatically. So Kelly is going to jump on in a little while and talk all about diffusing essential oils and the difference between diffusers. The third way for using essential oils is actually to use them in food and drinks. Okay, now many people will tell you that, oh no, you can't use essential oils in food and drinks. And that's because most of the essential oils that are produced in today's world are produced for the perfume industry or for their smell or aromatics. So they're not produced at a quality that we could use for you know, putting them in our food or our drinks. However, Young Living, which is the brand we're talking about of essential oils that we're, you know, using in all of our work, like all of our things this weekend, they are actually labelled for use in food and drinks because they meet Food Standards Australia regulations, and therefore they can be labelled for use in, you know, cooking and drinks. And Dorothea, the lovely Dorothea, has put together a video on, she's made a blueberry and orange ice cream. So we're going to pop that up so that you can see all about using essential oils in cooking. So that's the third way, but let's go back to the first way, which was using them topically. Okay, now what has happened is that originally in France, essential oils were used topically, and they were also, you know, even prescribed by doctors for use. But over time, a lady called Marguerite Maury, she studied aromatherapy in France, and she was a beautician, and she took the aromatherapy that she learnt in France back to England and opened up a beauty school and started teaching people how to use essential oils for facials and massage and all of that kind of stuff. But what she was finding was that people were actually having a reaction. They were reacting on their skin to the essential oils that were applied neat in France. And so she was like, oh, we can't have this. So she started diluting them, and she started doing things like a 2.5 and a 5% dilution, which literally sort of, you know, basically it means that 2.5% of the liquid that you've got is the essential oil, and the rest of the drops are a carrier oil. And that's when we talk about dilution. Okay, so dilution just means that it's not just the straight essential oil or essential oil blend, it's been added to a carrier oil. So when I dilute essential oils, I use a carrier oil. Now this particular carrier oil is a carrier oil that Young Living sell, and it's called V6. It actually has, I know this sounds crazy, but it has 7 vegetable oils in it. Carrier oils are different from essential oils. Essential oils are steam distilled from the plant. Carrier oils come from your seeds and your nuts. They're usually the vegetable oils that you would, you know, use in cooking, but good quality vegetable oils. So this one has sesame oil, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, wheat germ oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, and coconut oil. So all of those in this particular blend make up V6. And I dilute my essential oils with this particular oil because I feel like it's really nourishing to the skin. You know, it doesn't make it too oily. It's quite a good blend. So when I'm making up, you know, chest rubs for my girls or things like that, I'll use a coconut oil, but all the rest of the time I use this. Actually, except in perfumes. Sorry, I should qualify that, because if you ever come to one of my workshops and I make a perfume, I'll actually use something like sweet almond, apricot kernel, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you how to get the lid out. So each of our essential oils have a dropper on the top, and oil doesn't actually come out of that big hole, it comes out of a little hole around the side. And so when you're dripping oils, if you want to make something and you're dripping it out, always hold it on a 45-degree angle so that the air hole in the top isn't blocked off. That big hole is where the air gets in so that it can drip the oil out, and the oil comes out the little holes. If it isn't coming out as quickly as you want, just rotate it in your fingers and it'll roll it out. If you want to get the lid out, you can actually use the lid itself to loosen it off and pop it out. Okay, that's as simple as how to get that out. Now I'm going to show you, this is a blend called Panaway, and I use it on my muscles, on my neck, all of that kind of stuff. So Young Living has these patented roller tops. Okay, now all you do is you sit it in the top there and you screw on the lid, and you've already got a handy little roller to roll it on. So you can roll it on your, you know, your neck, your knee, your elbow, the lower spine, wherever, you know, you've got muscles that need a little bit of Panaway. You can put it on like that. Now, I dilute it, so I make it up, like I have spare bottles, and I put probably, you know, 5 to 10 drops of Panaway, and then I fill the rest with the V6 carrier oil. If you haven't got V6, you can use something like, as I said before, sweet almond, apricot kernel, any of those good quality oils. Jojoba, I love jojoba. I've used jojoba on my face and coconut oil on my body as a general rule if I'm not using the V6. And so yeah, so that's basically topical use of essential oils. And I always recommend diluting, particularly if you're new to essential oils. Just because you can use an essential oil neat without diluting it doesn't mean that you should. Always read the label. I mean, people say to me, how do I use the oil? I say, have you read the label? It's, you know, the simplest way to find out how to use an essential oil is to read the label. So it'll tell you whether you need to dilute it, and it'll also tell you whether it's a 50-50 dilution or how it needs to be diluted when you use it. But if you're new to essential oils, always dilute, because you don't know if you've got, you know, sensitive skin or whether you're going to have a reaction of any kind. And you can always increase the oil. You know, if you need more, reapply more. But you can't, it's harder to take off if you've put it on rather than to reapply. Now, if you have had a reaction by using oils topically, then what I suggest that you do is use some carrier oil on the area to actually dilute the essential oil and to make the molecules, you know, be diluted and spread around. If you use water, because essential oils are actually fat soluble, which means they dissolve in fat, you need to use an oil base to actually, you know, break up the essential oil molecules. If you use water, sometimes it can actually make the reaction worse. So whenever you know you or someone you know has a reaction to essential oils, reach for V6, olive oil, coconut oil, whatever you've got, to try and dilute the essential oil. And, you know, if symptoms persist, always, you know, contact a health professional and, yeah, seek advice. I hope that's been useful. I love these little roller tops. They're patented to Young Living. No one else has these. Well, other people have probably copied them, but they're, you know, they're amazing. And to get them out, you just use the lid, push it sideways, and it pops out. So, you know, in, out, you can swap it. I had it on my Stress Away bottle and I took it off to put it on the Panaway to show you. Anyway, hope that's been useful. Check out Kelly's video now on diffusing essential oils so that you can learn more ways to use them. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.